o'clock. We'll get started. My name is Lisa Koch, the Associate Director of the University of Kansas Transportation Center, and I'll be your MC for the Transportation Innovation Summit today. Thank you for joining us. The purpose of the summit is to showcase innovative projects in Kansas and generate ideas for how to use innovation to move Kansas forward. The projects that will be showcased both today and on Tuesday identify new methods through technology, partnerships, or ingenuity to solve transportation challenges in Kansas. We hope that you will come away from this summit with new ideas and motivation to try the untried at your work. This summit was funded by the Federal Highway Administration through the State Transportation Innovation Council. The University of Kansas Transportation Center is working in partnership with KDOT on this project, and we are thankful for the support of the KDOT, FHWA, and other partners for making this happen. A quick reminder, and I'll share my screen really quick, about how to access the sessions. So in Cadence, you'll see that along the side, there's all types of things you can access, from the live feed to continue conversations, companies, those who are sharing information about their company, people who's here, how you can chat one-on-one with them, and the schedule. I'm in the schedule right now. This is a great place to land. So to join the meeting, when it's time to join, you can just click join now, and it will take you to each of the sessions, and they will all be posted here. Also, after our 11:15 session with Jamie Gilbert, we'll have a closing from Rick Backlund. It will be within the same Zoom link, so you just stay on, and we'll end the session there. So with that, we're going to get started with Mike Floberg talking a bit about KDOT's Innovative Technology Grant Program. So Mike, I will turn it over to you.
Thanks, Lisa. First of all, I just want to start by saying thank you for all you've done getting this program set up. It's going very well. Thank you. Anybody who was on here Tuesday, heard Secretary Lorenz talk about the Innovative Technology Grant that KDOT has, and I've put the link to the fact sheet in the chat. So if you want to see that, you can just click on that. And it'll take you right to the fact sheet that basically I'm going to kind of cover today. But this program was developed with the Ike program, and it provides up to $2 million worth of grant money each year for the whole 10 years. There is some legislation that's in the works or discussions that are taking place to try to increase it to $5 million per year, but we have not heard the final decision on that yet. But basically, the grant is for anything that's innovative in your area. We do prefer that you go through a unit of government, either local or state, or an educational institution, or even the NPOs. And the reason for that, it just makes it a lot easier for us to contract and make payments to those organizations rather than to a private industry. Right now, the program does allow up to a maximum of $1 million worth of grant money to the projects. The project can be anything, like I said, innovative. If it's new in your area, then it's innovation. There's things that are being done in Kansas City, but they're not being done in Salina or Garden City. If you're in those locations and you have an innovative idea, please submit it, and we'll be happy to work it on our end and see if it fits in the program. The agency does prefer that it be a type of project that does not fit into another funding mechanism at the state, but we'll make that happen. You don't have to worry about it. You get the application in, and we'll make sure it gets worked one way or the other. So eligible projects are all transportation system projects. They can be on or off the state system, rail, aviation, unmanned aerial systems, bike ped, and even public transit. The program started in 2021, fiscal year 2021, and we had, I believe, 5 projects that we selected. And in 2022, we didn't have any applications. And so that's kind of why we're really trying to reach out here and get more interest in the funding. We do have, since the application process closed, we do have a few that have been submitted that's shown interest. We have approved one of those, and we're working on others. So if you have an idea, just feel free to submit it. Down there at the bottom of the fact sheet, you'll see an email address, innovative Innob Tech program at ks.gov, and just send the application to us, and we'll be glad to work it. The grant does require a 25% minimum match. The max project, like I said, was $1 million that will fund. And with that, I'll leave it open. Right now, it's open process to apply. So if you want to apply, just apply. And if we run out of money, we will carry it into the 2023 request, which should be out in notification either in July or August. So I'm opening it to questions. If anybody has any questions, please let me know.
All right, feel free to post questions in the chat to Mike. Mike, are there requests you've gotten so far or that you all have funded that you're most excited about?
Really, all of them are kind of exciting. Two of them were in the rural parts of the state, and they were, you know, really low tech, but it was new to their area. One was for a ped crossing, and the other was for a speed trailer that they could use in their location. And then we've had a couple KCATA projects that were selected to basically get all the what I'd call the information onto one link that they could use for multiple programs. We do have a project down in Wichita, which is for connected vehicles, and we're thinking about the Greenwich Corridor. Basically, what that'll be is we'll put technology along the roadway that will talk to high-end cars. That corridor has a lot of high-end car dealerships, and this way, if you're looking to buy one of those cars, you can actually see what that technology really can do in the vehicle. The other one is the smart corridor, or the smart city application for the city of Lenexa, where they're partnering with Integrated Roadways and Kiewit Construction to do in-pavement sensors. Really is what it's about. They can do charging, they can do vehicle counts, they can do weigh in motion, you name it. And then it also has fiber options to it too, where they can share the fiber strands and provide connectivity for others that may need it.
So would you suggest that folks get in touch with you and maybe have a pre-meeting or a discussion about your topic to get some advice on how to best submit the application?
If they want to, they don't have to. We've had it kind of both ways. We've had some applicants actually give us a call and talk about their projects, and then others that just submitted the application, and then we talk to them after the fact. And you know, because it is so wide open that trying to understand those projects can get kind of complicated when we get into the agreement stage. And so that's a lot of discussions seem to happen in the agreement stage. And so that's really where we have to have a good understanding of what the project's trying to get accomplished, so we can actually do an accurate agreement at that point in time.
Yeah, I can imagine there's a lot of either subcontractors or procurements related to technology within that. Have you done both, where a subcontractor who is a technology service comes in as a sub versus ones that are just going to go out for RFP?
Yeah, that's kind of the way the Lenexa Smart City is. It was Integrated Roadways and Kiewit partnering with Lenexa, and then the Wichita one will actually be a consultant designing it and then constructing it. So it's all under the city of Wichita. And so, yeah, there's multiple ways that it can be done. You know, it's kind of unique, because that's the uniqueness about innovation, that none of them are the same. And so the agreements are the key to it all. And so it can vary, but you know, with us trying to lock it into where we partner or have the agreement with a local unit of government or an eligible agency, then it makes it a little easier on our end.
Excellent. Are there any other questions for Mike? Are there projects you'd like to see?
Well, I have a lot of desires, but you know, because like I said in a meeting yesterday, is, you know, sometimes our hands are kind of tied on what we can and cannot do easily at the state level. But you know, the cities and local units of governments have a little bit easier of an opportunity to get some things done that we cannot do. And so, you know, those types of projects I think would be on the top of my list, and really they become pilots for us to see how well it works statewide. And that's key. I mean, you don't want to implement technology without really seeing what it can and cannot do. So we don't want to do mass implementation across the state and find out we went the wrong direction. And so, the pilot projects are the key. And I know Secretary Lorenz really harped on pilot projects. And so that's really where we're kind of going with it too, is give us an idea that you want to try. And it may seem impossible on your end, but it really isn't. There's a lot of technology out there being developed every day, and it's changing daily, and it's really kind of hard to keep up with. But there's a lot of stuff. If you have an idea and you don't know a partner, we can even actually try to help you get a partner connection, at least, to talk to help you.
And I think that's an important message about piloting, is sometimes they don't succeed, but you still learn something for the next project. And so is that something that is within kind of the conversations of testing and understanding the success of the project?
Yeah, we want the project to go, 3 to 5 years in length, but we understand that sometimes, things just don't work. The idea was a great idea, but the actual application didn't work as well as we had hoped. And, we don't want a lot of those, but they are good learning process projects at the time. And so, right now it's wide open, and that's innovation. I mean, that's the change that we're going through. And some of the things that I even started out early in this program saying is it could be as simple as a software package. One of the things that we're all struggling with today is having staff.
Yeah.
And so if there's some software or technology out there that can assist with your reduction in staff, that's an eligible project. And so, don't be limited by anything. If you have an idea, send it in or talk to us, and we'll be happy to kind of work through it and see what we can do.
Awesome. We have a few questions. Nelda asks, sometimes citizens are hesitant to accept new innovations, even if the local leaders are willing. Is there any assistance provided for sharing information?
Yeah, we could do that. And we can, Nelda, I'm available to go talk if I need to go talk, but we can assist with that part of it, because you're right, it's the public is resistant to change, and they haven't seen something, so they kind of wonder, is it worth spending the money? Well, that's the whole purpose of the program, is to try new things and prove that it's worth spending that money. And so, yeah, we would be available to help with that.
So Hangi asked, how can universities get involved in the application process? Sometimes we're a little bit disconnected from what locals are doing. So what's the best way for us universities to get engaged?
I think this has been a tough one. We had a couple applications in the first go round. One was related to UAS, and the other one was related to an automated shuttle. And currently we didn't have legislation to do automated shuttles, so that kind of put the halt on that for now. But I think it's a multitude of ways. If there's a project that somebody wants to try, consultants have a lot of ideas, and so do cities. And if there's an idea out there to bring it forward, the university is a good way to get it implemented and tested and researched and studied. And so I think that's really the place where it fits, and some of the things that I would eventually like to see, and maybe not right now, and I know this is going to tie right into Dr. Guy's work, but the grid system of lighting, trying to turn that into a smart system across the metropolitan areas, I think would be a great idea. And it's a great concept, but it was just one that didn't get bid on here at KDOT, but we have a lot of discussions along that with the lighting section.
So we have one more question, then we'll head to our next session. This one's from Darcy. Is there a system in place to allow a project to pivot if needed in a scenario where it's not going the way it was expected or planned?
I think we would be acceptable to that. And, if there's any kind of fear like that, and maybe that's something we need to start considering in our agreements is, if it's looking like it's not going to prove out, then, what allowance will we allow to change in midstream? I mean, if it's not a drastic change, like a whole new project, that probably wouldn't fly, but maybe there's some things that we can change and actually figure out what results we're trying to get at that point in time. So I think we would be willing to listen because, granted, we want a more successful project than a failed project, but as Lisa's mentioned earlier, a failed project will teach you quite a few things.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Mike. If you have other questions for Mike, reach out to him. And with that, we will move into our next session. So I'll see you there.